Welcome to Unfiltered Summit Sisters.
I'm Gina.
And I'm Julia.
We are two ride-or-die best friends who are paving the path for what true, authentic relationships look like.
We're facing hardships head-on, having real, uncensored conversations, supporting each other's growth, and shining a light on true, raw healing.
We are navigating the world the best we know how.
Having a hell of a time doing it.
Laughing every step of the way.
Through the rain
and sunshine.
This is Canyon Culture.
Welcome back to Unfiltered Summit Sisters. You had a bit of a hard day the other day and shared a little bit with Instagram.
Oh man,
we both had a hard day, but you do a good job. You're always allowed to, but you do a good job at not speaking for me. But you and I were texting back and forth, and we were having a very, very rough night. And you took to Instagram wanting people to see we just want to be authentic. We're not there to get attention. We're not there to have people fix the problems we bring there.
Right.
But you want people to feel seen and heard that it's hard. This life is hard. And we're here to show the hard, not just the good, because there's too many people out online that are just like, look how amazing my life is. And we're like,
right. And for a lot of what we post and share, there is a lot of positivity. There's a lot of joy, and we have all of that. We do.
Yeah.
And our lives are so much better. But being single parents is not easy.
No.
At all, in any aspect. And the mental load of everything that we have to carry, I can't even describe to you. So let me try.
Lay it out for us.
Let me try. So we are obviously we live in a home, right? So just the mental load of making sure that the home is taken care of and cleaned and laundry is done, making sure that we have groceries and meals planned, and now school lunches planned this year, and we have food for all of that all the time, and shopping for all of that, and cooking all of the meals, and making sure chores and things are done and cleaned and dishes are done yet again. Then I homeschool. Kids do homeschooling in many different forms. This year we're going to a micro hybrid school. Everybody's got to be registered. Everybody's got to have liability forms. We've got to register for classes individually. Then we've got tumbling and jiu-jitsu and dance and musical theater, and everybody's got to be registered for that. Everybody's got to have
vocal lessons. Sorry,
forgot the vocal lessons. Yes. Everybody's got to have everything they need for all of that. I've got to jumble all of those schedules, plus my two older ones work consistent jobs. I've got to schedule those with my work schedule.
Because they have to watch your kids. Like, that's the thing you have to realize, is that you have to, if they are working, you then have to figure out how to have your younger ones be taken care of.
Yes. And then I have my own business, which pays the bills. And I teach private piano lessons. So I am scheduling 15 children individually every single week.
Where you can't be interrupted.
You're face to face the whole time. So I can't be interrupted. I can't put them on hold. I can't call someone back. I am uninterrupted I have to be uninterrupted the entire time, which is incredibly difficult. Then if any of those students need to reschedule or change lessons or do that, then we've got to pay all of the bills every single month and make sure we're budgeting, making sure we're staying within budget. Then on top of that, I'm supposed to take care of myself and work out and eat healthy and shower more than once a week and all of these things. It's just,
but that doesn't touch the kids' emotional or spiritual needs, or your relationship with your boyfriend, or any emergency that comes up on top of that. So that's just day to day. That's week to week.
It just never, and the kids are due for dentist appointments, and we got to do that, and they're going to have work done, and I got to pull that out of savings, and it just it never ever stops.
So that day you were having a hard time. I don't remember what was happening for me, but we were both just going absolutely through it. We were both done, just so ready to run away. I swear we say that all the time, and one of these days it's going to actually happen.
I know.
And no one's going to believe us because we keep threatening, and then they're going to be like, it's been a week. But you had mentioned on Instagram, on one of the stories that you posted, about if you want to help a single parent out, just do the thing.
Yes.
And so that's what we want to talk about here. We want to educate people on service for a single parent, but then as we were discussing it, there's so many that we just kind of started coming up with so many different ways of just how to serve people in general, and how to do that. Not how to, but ideas of how to do that in a way that gives you a wider range of what kind of load some people, but most likely a single parent's going to feel.
Yes, but I want to be really specific about it, because we're talking about mental load, and my mental load is overflowing all the time. I don't have space for anything else. So I want to be really specific in the ways that we're tangible ways that we're sharing to help. Just everything that I have to balance on top of the amount of questions that I get from my kids, which are valid questions. Well, the older ones, sometimes, the younger ones are not, but the amount of questions and scheduling, like I have no more capacity left.
I think that's what I felt led to share, was that when you look at people while they're doing a lot, you have to remember there's so much going on their shoulders that you don't see. Right. It's that mental load. So let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. So there's the mental load of everything you talked about is mostly physical, mm-hmm. but you also have to think about those things.
Right. On top of it, we're still healing.
That ever going to end?
That's so much.
It's so much,
unfortunately.
Because I think that's what I was going through. I had a big healing, and it wasn't like, yay, that's healed. I was like, this is heavy, and it physically drained me. So that's where I was at that day. I remember that because I went to an appointment with our functional medicine doctor, and we had a heavy mm-hmm. session. But it's that mental load. And so a lot of times when I get overstimulated and overloaded with stuff, a simple question of, can I have a fruit snack?
Can I go to so-and-so's house at 6 p.m.?
I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah. So there's this guy on TikTok who posts videos about mental loads that wives have, meaning that there may be a man that's like, I will do whatever she asks me to. And he is learning that asking is a chore on its own. You have to recognize that if I came to you and said, how can I help you? I just gave you a chore.
Yes.
And people don't see that. And so what you mentioned on that story was, don't ask if we can get groceries. Go get the groceries. Who cares if it's food your kids will eat or don't eat?
Let me tell you, as single parents who are running on generally very short budgets or not even making the budget, we don't care what groceries you bring. We're just thankful that there are groceries. Minus, let me insert this right here.
There's the caveat to that. There's a little side bit.
Please don't just clean out your pantry and bring shit that you haven't had in years, food that is expired, or freaking clam juice. Not just hypothetically.
That's the thing, is that
my children are not ever going to ingest clam juice.
But it's the kind of thing where it's like, not only was that awkward and weird, but now you're like, this
it made me feel so crappy.
Yeah.
It made me feel like
a checkbox.
And honestly, it made me feel like this poor single mom. We're going to give her some clam juice.
There was a couple in your life that showed up with a Costco load of stuff. They didn't ask you.
They didn't ask. I didn't go to Costco with them. They went to Costco and bought
stuff.
A ton of stuff.
Yeah.
A ton of stuff, and brought it over and unloaded it into my kitchen.
It's that kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be that big. No. Like, that was a big financial load for them. And that's not what we're not asking for that. We're asking, when you are wanting to help and serve other people, the question of what can I do is automatically a thing.
Yes.
So, and that's a hard thing. If you have a heart for service, you've got to look for those things without asking. Because I guess that's the part that I'm wanting to educate on, is that as single parents, but even I think anybody will have that. I think a lot of wives, because this guy on TikTok, like I said, is showcasing how he is discovering how many different ways he puts a mental load on his wife.
Yes.
How, like, and I will have to try and find his account and share it, because it is really educational, because he is literally going through the process and videos himself. So he's going, I just did this thing and I realized I just added another mental load. I added a new thing for my wife. She doesn't need that.
Right.
I am very capable of doing these things for myself. So I try and teach my kids, see a need, fill a need, because if they come, what else can I do to help? And I'm going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been working for 6 hours or 4 hours, doesn't matter. I'm working. I don't know what the state of the house is. So for me to get up, go find something for you to clean, you just gave me another chore.
Right.
So I'm trying to teach my kids young. See a need, fill a need. You don't need to ask me to do dishes. You don't need to ask me to sweep a mop the floor. You don't need to ask me to pick up a thing. So those are the kinds of things that, as single parents, we have all the time, the physical and the mental load of the entire household on our shoulders. And that's the part where, as people, because we have people in our lives who do want to serve us. And so so I know there's people out there who want to do that. So as you're somebody who's wanting to serve, if you're trying to find a way to serve a family, just pay attention.
Yes.
And just show up.
Yes.
And just say, hey, I'm here to clean a bathroom. I'll go find one that needs cleaning.
Right. And that's it.
And that's it. Don't say which one. Don't say, do you want me to clean a bathroom? Just say, hey, which bathroom do you want me? No, just show up and say, I'm here.
Yep.
Bye.
Exactly.
That's what we need.
Yes.
And it's not like we're not grateful for those moments where people ask, but and I will, if somebody comes and says, hey, I want to clean your house, which bathroom do you want? I'm not grateful for that, because I don't want to sound ungrateful or bitchy or any of that, because there are so many people that have come to serve us that have maybe added to the mental load, but then lifted a physical load. And I don't want to sound ungrateful for that. This is more of an education on, if you want to make the most effort or most impact.
Yes.
Just show up and do something. Mow the lawn without asking.
Absolutely. So I've got 2 good examples. One was recent. We were going to have a lake day, I think, and we needed the next day, and we were going to leave really early in the morning, and I had not gone to Walmart yet to get food and drinks and ice and the coolers and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. I had had one of my busiest days, and my boyfriend and one of my teenagers said, what can we take off of your plate? And I said, all of the food and drinks for tomorrow. And they said, okay, no problem. Let's make a list real quick. And I said, pause. No, I don't even want to make the list. I don't have the capacity for that. I want you to take it off my plate completely. I don't care what you buy. I don't care what you get. I want you to just fill that need completely and totally. And I don't have to do anything at all with it. And they did.
I guess that's maybe something that needs to be addressed too, is that you wouldn't want to go into somebody's house and bring, I guess you have to kind of read the friendship that you have if you're serving somebody, because I know if I came to your house and said, I'm here to clean a bathroom, you wouldn't care. But if you were somebody who's like, please don't touch my bathrooms, that makes me super uncomfortable, right? Like, I guess you have to keep that in mind. So what I'm thinking of is that if your boyfriend and your daughter were like, what do you want us to get? Because we know you're really picky and you're going to get upset if we get the wrong thing. That's a different story.
Right.
So we're really giving examples for parents who are like us, who are really spread thin, and we don't give a crap anymore. There was a time where I was really picky with what my kids eat, and in general, I try my best, but my kids eat crap.
Yeah.
They all have school lunches right now and eat absolute garbage, and I'm going, you're fed. That is off my list.
There was a time that I would be picky about what cleaners were used in my bathroom, right?
Absolutely.
If you show up to clean my bathroom, I don't give a shit what you're cleaning it with. Thanks for cleaning it.
And that's where we're at. And I think, I guess a lot of this is coming from us personally. But obviously read your friendship. But the idea of pay attention to the mental load you're adding with your service.
Right.
And it's really not a complaint. It's that if you want your efforts to go the furthest it can go. And that's a good lesson for me, because I think I ask people, how can I serve you? Instead of just, I'm here to do this service. Go away.
I have another good example. Back when we lived in Texas, we had just moved into one of the many houses that we lived in. And our washer broke. And I had posted on Facebook asking people's experiences buying appliances from Costco in particular. A friend saw that post and she asked me what size washer we had. The next text that I got from her was, you have a washer being delivered on this day at that time. That was it. She didn't ask me anything else. She didn't, she took the entire mental load off of me and was just like, it's coming at this time. Didn't ask me if it was a good day or a good time. She knew I worked from home anyway, right? It felt so good. It felt so freaking good. And that was a huge gift. Washers are expensive.
Right. Well, I was gifted a washer as well. I did go pick it up, and this friend did pay for it, which was still amazing. Don't get me wrong. I will do that 10 times over.
Right.
But that extra step of not having to even pick it out and do the research.
Yes.
It's just added. I guess that's what it is. It's added service to not have to do that step.
Yes.
I was happy to do the steps to get my washer, because without it, I would have zero washer.
Right.
But if you have the capacity to do that extra step,
absolutely. So pay a utility bill, but get their address and call the utility company. You don't need, you don't need their information. You don't need to ask them questions.
You're giving them money. You don't need an account number. You're like, just take my money.
Right. Right. So whatever you're doing to serve,
keep in mind
our advice. Yeah. Keep in mind the mental load. And our advice would be, do as much as you can on your own to serve that person, so you're not adding to their mental load. I know this is so stupid. This is like
my
the
favorite
stupidest thing ever. But whenever my boyfriend gets me flowers, he always, whether he finds wildflowers somewhere or he buys them from the store, he will always come home and actually cut them and put them in a vase. He doesn't just leave them on the counter.
That was one of the ones that the guy mentioned. He was like, I got my wife flowers. I now added a chore to her list to put the flowers in a vase.
And I know it sounds so
stupid. It's not stupid though, but that is a perfect example of the small things. Because we actually kind of been giving some really big examples. And I think that there's a lot of little things people can do. And it's like,
don't ask if you can mow the lawn, just go mow the lawn.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah, but even just the idea of here's a gift that now requires a chore.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's weird how you're like, now be grateful that I gave you a chore.
Right. Right.
I feel like we're sounding so ungrateful right now, I'll be honest. I'm not, that's not the energy I'm trying
and it's not. I'm grateful for every single thing that I have done to receive help, but I think it's bringing awareness and offering some education on ways that you can actually take a little bit of weight off of single parents' plates.
I also recognize though that this could apply to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a single parent. It can be two working parents. It can be literally anybody, but just recognizing that mental load is a load.
Yes.
Find ways to take that off too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But
I remember friends buying groceries, coming to my house and putting all the groceries away.
Yeah.
I didn't carry the groceries in. I was just like, thank you so much.
But you've done that for me. You'll go store, hey, what do you need? I was like, I can get sugar. And instead of saying, hey, the sugar's at my house, you'll drop it off at my house and put it on my counter. And sometimes if you're there, your kids, or you have time, you guys will, since you lived with me, you put it away. And so I'm like, did you come? And all of a sudden I look and there's eggs in my fridge. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a fairy tale.
I know.
Is this what it's like having two adults in the house? Is that what it would be like?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. You're like, oh, my car needs gas, and it just shows up with gas.
Yeah. I know.
One day.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. It's exciting.
Well, I hope this has brought just some awareness.
Right.
It's not something I would have thought of before I was a single parent, because I had a very serving heart.
Yeah.
And I would serve people. A lot of my serving was making meals for people who were in need. They were either sick or out of the hospital or had a baby or something.
So what would you learn with that? Like, how would you relieve the mental load with serving with a meal?
I think I asked lots of questions, because I wouldn't just bring a dinner. I would want to bring like some breakfast stuff and some snack stuff. And I would ask lots of questions with good intent, right?
Of course.
With good meaning. So I think next time I would just show up with stuff instead of asking.
My thought is spend the extra couple of dollars and get the tins that they can just throw away so they don't have to wash a dish and try and get it back. That's one that I don't want to say it drives me crazy. It's one of those things that I end up feeling bad because I can't get to it at a timely manner, and then I feel guilty. Mm-hmm. And I, as somebody who also likes to serve, my purpose is for them to feel loved, not to feel guilt.
Right.
So get the dish that they can keep or throw away.
Yes.
Some people will go to the DI, which is like a thrift store, like a chain thrift store.
Salvation Army.
Yes, Salvation Army. And they will buy really, really cheap dishes and say, keep it or throw it away. Right. So they're cooking in actual glassware or whatever, and like you can either have it or you can regift it or you can throw it away. That's whatever is the easiest. So then because there's times I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. I'm going to keep it. Like some people like, keep the Tupperware. I don't care. And I'm like, okay, I will, because I like it.
Take my car and go get an oil change for me while I'm working. Sorry, I just have things popping in my head.
I will do it at your house. I actually really enjoy changing the oil.
You can change my oil all you want.
You said that so seductively. Did you mean to?
I did not.
It was so. I was like, how do you know my love language? Like, you're saying things that I like to hear in such a way that it's giving me feelings.
If you need me to install a new rear AC blower or
oh my gosh, we crushed
anything in your car, I'm down.
We did so good on that.
Yeah, we did.
That feels like forever.
I can't believe we didn't take pictures of it though.
I know.
Anyway,
do we need to reenact it?
Not pertinent.
Anyway, I am grateful for all the people who have served me.
Yes.
Even if you've given me a mental load with it, I'm just grateful for service. But I'm also grateful for this enlightenment so that I now have reached a new level of how to serve people and find ways to not only serve them physically, but also mentally.
We're just leveling up our serving.
We are leveling up.
I am incredibly grateful for all of the help I've received. Again, even if it has added mental load, anybody who has ever served me in any way, you have been the hands and feet of Jesus in a tangible way here on this earth. And that has ministered to me and shown me unconditional love more than sitting in church has.
It's what I love is the service that people give me gets me excited when I'm in a position where I can serve in that way.
Yes.
I know I can serve now. I'm not saying I don't serve now or can't serve now, but there's certain ways people have served me, and that just gets me excited when I'm in a better financial situation or my time is more available to serve at the levels that people have served me. I'm so excited to bring, because I have lived on the receiving end of that so much. I'm so excited to bring that light and to have them feel that light of Christ.
Yes.
And not for me, but for them, because it has been huge for me.
That makes me think of our nonprofit that we're starting in the future.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Remember?
No, obviously not.
What was it? What did we name it? Vaginas. Was it? Remember?
No, I remember.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You haven't slept.
I haven't.
Our nonprofit for single moms that we're starting, where we're a hub for all of the different resources.
Okay.
We've talked about this before.
Okay. And we named it something with vaginas?
We did. What was it? Vaginas Matter, or Protect the Vaginas, or I can't remember what it was.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to get it on in our notebook or something.
But it's going to be like Born with Vaginas.
We're going to have to,
we'll
have to work on this.
Got it later in life. Can I say that? This is unfiltered, so.
You don't have to be here if you don't want to. Okay, we're going to end this now. This is going weird. Till next week.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Unfiltered Summit Sisters.
Come join us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to get a sneak peek into our lives.
It's beautiful, chaotic, crazy, and fun.
What else would you expect raising 10 kids?
All the links you need are in the show notes.
See you next week.